The stupidest, dumbest assassins that failed at their jobs so miserably. Numero uno, Giuseppe Zangara. Now Giuseppe was an Italian immigrant who lived in America. He was a humble bricklayer. One day he decided to make a name for himself by attempting to shoot President-elect Franklin D. Roosevelt. On February 15th, 1933, he attended Franklin's speech in Miami. Bro came armed with a cheeky little .32 caliber revolver he bought for $8. The fuck? That's a bargain. Milk and bread cost more nowadays. For some reason, Roosevelt was giving his back from the back. What? Roosevelt was giving his speech from the back of an open car. God knows why. Bloody Americans. Giuseppe made his way into the crowd to try getting an angle on Franklin. Unfortunately, Giuseppe had a small issue. He was only 5 foot tall, so he struggled looking over the crowd. He found a solution though and stood on a bench to get a clear aim. He then puts his revolver on a woman's shoulder, literally a random woman, as she's like a tripod or something, to get a stable shot. Obviously the woman's like, who the hell is this guy? She sees he has a gun and she like twists his arm or something, and he ends up firing some shots. All of his shots miss Franklin, every single one. He hit a few random people and ended up shooting the mayor of Chicago, Anton, who ended up dying unfortunately. Zangara got arrested, obviously. He confessed, and then he got given the death sentence. Specifically the electric car, the electric chair. If he'd taken into consideration his height whilst planning this assassination out, it might have gone more smoothly. Actually, probably not. Number 2. We've got the attempted murder of Napoleon in the 1800s. Some royalist assassins wanted Napoleon dead. I'm not surprised, I imagine Mr. Napoleon had a lot of enemies, so this isn't really shocking news to me. The royalist assassins came up with a plan, the OG drive-by. They were going to drive past Napoleon in a cart, but in the cart would be a bomb. As it drove past, it would blow up and kill Napoleon. I think it's a pretty solid plan, to be fair, especially for those days. I think this is a very solid plan. So anyway, the plan had been well crafted. It was all set in motion. The day arrives. The bomb is placed in the cart, and the cart sets off. Napoleon is seen coming towards the cart, riding his horse probably, or carriage. I don't know what he was riding that day. Anyway, he's coming closer and closer. Napoleon rides next to the cart, and it's gonna go off. Wait, why didn't it? Unfortunately, the assassins got the timing slightly off, and the bomb
Do you speak any English?
And the bomb blew up after Napoleon had just ridden past. The bomb killed some random civilians on the side, probably just some innocent common folk trying to make a living. I swear commoners and peasants just had the worst luck back in the day. They'd always be getting pillaged, raped, blown up here. It's peak, man. The game's a game, I guess.
I like it.
And lastly, we have got the attempted murder of the 7th President of America, Mr. Andrew Jackson. Quick debrief on Andrew Jackson. He was a slave master, but he also believed that slaves should be treated fairly, so fair enough. He also enforced the Indian Removal Act, which led to the Trail of Tears. So yeah, he basically ticks all the boxes of an American president. Anyways, Richard Lawrence, an unemployed house painter from the UK, my ends, come on. He decided to try assassinating Andrew. You may be wondering, why? Well, Richard thought he was the rightful king of England and thought Andrew was blocking his inheritance. If you haven't figured it out by now, Richard was mentally ill. Also, this was less of an assassination and more of just a surprise attack. Jackson was leaving the congressional funeral when Richard jumped out and aimed a pistol at him. He shot Andrew, but the pistol misfired. Richard then pulled out a second pistol and shot again. He misfired again. Andrew, a 63-year-old man, attacked Richard with his cane and kept beating him until police came and arrested him. Andrew then just went on about his day. It was a pretty sad attempt at an assassination, I must say.